Hey YouTube, Monty53 here. I know another video. I wasn't planning on coming on until next weekend, but I was just watching YouTube and Boca To Boynton asked for a VR regarding an older brother story or a wedding story. Well, Boca, this one's for you. And in this story, something similar happened at my wedding that happened to yours. But first, smoking. Actually, I'm going to go this route. Smoking Missouri Meerschaum. It's a Cole Younger. And in it is kind of my own blend that I made from some of the Paul's Pipe Shop stuff that I bought when I first got back into pipe smoking. I went nuts on the aromatics. And what I bought from them, and I have some jars pure of peach cobbler and this vanilla custard. Well, I took all the leftover pipe tobacco I had, and I took this jar and I had about 3/4 of the peach cobbler, and then added an extra quarter of the vanilla custard. And I gotta say, this batch was made back on May of 2019. This blend, and it's actually pretty good. I don't smoke a lot of aromatics anymore. The more I get into pipe smoking, the more I notice that to me an aromatic is kind of like an extra treat, maybe in the morning or at night, especially on the weekends. So for the VR, back in 2013, I was married in October. So this is mostly going to be wedding, not so much, well, it actually does involve an older brother as we go along. The wedding, the ceremony itself went off, no issues. And the reception, a lot of people said it was a lot of fun. My dad made it clear to us, to my wife and I at the time, my fiance, that he made it clear the wedding itself, the ceremony, is for you and the bride. The reception is your way of thanking everybody that came to the party and to the wedding. Make sure they have a good time. And I gotta appreciate my dad on that one, because he helped make it a good time. And what I mean by that is, the wedding was at a golf course, and they had a beautiful reception area and a gorgeous grill or bar through this door that, well, you'll find out later where some of the guys were. Well, you know how in a wedding you get announced to go in. They bring in all the groomsmen and the bridesmaids and all them, and then they announce the new wedding couple. Well, our wedding had to have the reception. It was over 400 people. I only had one table of co-workers at the time. The rest, for me, was family, and I had to leave out a lot of family. I mean, alone, you're talking 200 and some with a guest. They're all from Metro Detroit. Nobody came down from the Upper Peninsula. Not even the Swamp Witch. So that revenge was never played on me. So, with the limited amount of space that we had for 400 and some odd people, the route into the wedding, or to the cake, because they said when you get announced, go right to the cake, we'll do the photos and cut the cake. No problem. my wife, instead of buying a brand new wedding dress, this was kind of cool. She, at the time, I wasn't into antiquing, but her and her mom went to an antique shop, and she found a beautiful wedding dress there. And apparently back in the, it's got to be from the 30s, 1930s, this dress, 1930s, maybe 1940s. This person was the Vera Wang of the day, or whatever, Vera Wang is. I mean, some big dressmaker, I guess. And that's what I was told by my wife. So, of course, I acted impressed. Wow. Pretty cool. Well, she had that dress altered and some work done on it to bring it back into beautiful shape. Well, when we got announced to come into the room, the walkway wasn't, between tables wasn't very wide. So when we came into the room to go to the cake, we're making our way, and I decided, but, let her go first. Trying to be a gentleman. Well, just like with Boca, that train is pretty long on the dress. She leads us. And what do? I take a step, and I could feel it. I ripped her dress. Ripped the train. Well, it didn't take long for me. I was only married a few hours to be on the crap list. The death look I got from my bride. Oh my God. I had to play it smooth, like I'm sorry, oh my gosh, you're trying to apologize, and then the only other move I had was, we need to get to the cake and take our photos. Keep her moving. Well, she goes to the table, and everything else was fine, but oh man, I haven't lived that down. I tore her dress. But in the wedding, my brother makes a speech. My older brother. He was my best man, one of my brothers. And I guess that's a little bit of revenge there. I guess we can go this route. He tells the story how my bride and I, my wife's name is Allison, we were good friends, and we were dating other people, part of our group. And I had broken off a few years before with a girlfriend, and I was stag or whatever you call it. And her relationship with the other guy, who was a friend, was falling apart. And I had actually introduced him, and my friendship with him was kind of breaking off. But anyways, too much information. But it leads to the story. So my brother tells everybody how one day he came to my apartment. He walks in the apartment, and he's like talking to me. And he looks over and he goes, "Well, hey, Allison." And he stops and he goes, "Where's so-and-so?" "Oh, he's not here." And nothing happened. We were just friends. I mean, it's just an apartment. Nothing ever happened. So I had to sit there and tell my father-in-law, nothing happened. I'm like telling him. And my brother's like telling the story. I'm like, oh God, because a lot of these people knew the other guy. And lo and behold, he's like, by the way, he makes a mafia joke. We haven't seen that guy around in years, or a few years. What happened to him? Well, that got the laughs from everybody who's non-Italian. I actually got the laughs from the Italians too. But the cool thing about the wedding that I'm going to get back to really quick was my dad. He contacted a cigar place and had some hand-rolled cigars made. And the thing about my wedding was he was right. We went around all those tables, thanking everybody and welcoming them to the party and thank you for coming and everything, and had the dances, but a lot of the guys were missing. Find out the golf course did something pretty cool. And if I was at a wedding, I would have loved this too. My dad takes this big old box of handmade cigars and he did save one for me. And he was talking to the manager who runs the receptions and said, can we smoke these somewhere? And she said, absolutely. Go into the bar and grill. And it's a gorgeous bar and grill right through this door. They opened up both bars for our party at no extra cost. They put on the Red Wings on the TV, so all the guys got to watch a hockey game, smoking cigars and drinking in the next room. I never knew about it. In fact, my dad's old best friend from high school, who was invited, him and his wife, they're still great friends with my mom and dad. I didn't even know he was there until he was leaving. He comes out. Oh, you could tell he had a great time. Tony, oh, I love you, Tony. This is the greatest party in the world. I'm like, Jay? Huh? You came? No kidding. I'm glad he had a great time. Mind you, I haven't seen that gentleman in over 20 years. But man, he had a great time. And my dad was right. You make sure they have a great time. And I thought that was pretty cool that that golf course did that, because, man, that was a beautiful facility. Still is. It was meant to be a country club, but it never went private. Stayed. You can buy a membership just to get discounts on your golf, but they ended up just keeping it public. But it was a great time, just except for the tearing of my wife's dress and my brother's speech. But that's my story. That's my wedding story. Hope you like it. I hope you liked it, Boca. And I'll see all of you. You have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you this weekend. You take care. Bye.